the studio with Reverend Elo and Apostle Matthew. Yes, I mentioned that today we'll be looking at the distinctive aspects of grief when a baby's death occurs. The mother and the father and other members of the family, how they respond to a baby's death.
That death is real.
Okay.
It's something that one cannot avoid.
Alright.
But when it occurs, we discover that it sets in serious emotional pain, which we call grief. And we actually inform the general public that when passing through grief, you are advised not to go through it alone.
Okay, sir.
The reason is because if it is not resolved, it will affect the whole of your life. How we to do? How do we react? In other words, today we are going to take a little look away from where we were last time. To go specifically not death itself,
Okay.
because we can change
Alright.
how we handle it. And that is why we are looking at the aspect of distinctive way of viewing this death when the grief comes. And that is what we will be doing right now.
When we look at the family setting, like you rightly said, when a baby is born, it comes as a blessing, it's a gift. But then the way people react to misfortune as death, which is of course inevitable as we have stated, the reactions from different family members is quite different. Okay, so I think today you'll be letting us know how we should respond as the mother of the child, as the father of the child, and as maybe an extended family member or sibling of the child. So I think we should start with the mother.
Again, I want to thank our audience there who are listening to us, and I want to also implore them not to hide their or to deny us their contribution as we resolve this issue on air. So any of them that wish to contribute to this matter, I think is advisable. I want to start by asking some possible questions a mother do ask when this type of issues occur in a family. Now, in the issue of miscarriage, stillbirth, the issue of a newborn death. If you look at it now, there are possible questions such mother will ask. We'll look at the questions. Why do I feel as if a part of me has died? How do I calm myself when I need to be strong? Am I still a mother even though my baby died? Why doesn't my baby's father understand my pain?
Okay.
So, partly from there now, you will also understand that no matter how we pretend, no matter what are the number of people that come around, remember the departure of every child or the departure of any life around the mother creates a shock in that life. It creates a shock. But that shock now should not be denied. Should not be denied the free flow of tears.
Okay.
So I think in such case now, we should not come to tell people, forget about it. You will soon conceive again. After all, that one has gone. You can't help the situation. You can forget about it. If you forget about it now, have you ever realized that once the woman conceives, she sends a life bond to her? That bond now cannot easily be broken. And the tie there now, as the child departs, there is a vacuum in such a place. That's why the woman sees herself as a part of her is no more. And at the same time now, if you are in such a case, you ask yourself, how can I treat myself of this case? How can I calm myself? The advice we have for such a person is, please regulate your breath. What do I mean? Take a deep breath and gradually release it. But if the child didn't survive, it doesn't stop you from being a mother, because being a mother is a special privilege God has given to women to partake in creation.
I thank God he didn't answer. You know what he said? He said, why don't my husband understand? You know, generally people just feel it is only the woman who grieves.
That's right.
You know what the funny thing about it?
But even husbands, the wives, for the loss of the child.
Beautiful.
So what should the mother do at that point?
Before I get to that issue now, you can see, you know the one that is painful, people will ask you, how is the woman doing?
Okay.
No one ever asked, how are you doing? Are you coping? As if the child was only the woman's loaded. It was a child for both of them.
That's right.
And now the child is lost. But it appears as if the woman is so special, she's the only one feeling, and he was telling me because she shared part of herself with the baby. Yes, I think that is an interesting part. The first problem right now, why the man, the father, don't understand is because baby unborn
Okay.
is an intellectual and abstract concept in the life of a man.
Okay.
They know the baby is there,
Okay.
but they don't understand the movement and the weight of the baby, like the mother who carries. It's very interesting. So when the baby dies, the man equally is aware that we have lost the baby, but don't understand the vacuum that is created.
As much as the woman.
Good. So now, if I'm talking now, you're a father elsewhere, and you didn't take so serious as if nothing has happened, you tell the woman, why don't you be strong? You are still getting so weak like this. You are not wrong, you are doing the right thing. That's your nature. That is what nature has placed there on you.
Okay.
If you observe carefully, the greatest problem of a father
Okay.
is that the man is jealous. He feels forgotten. The baby I own, I'm not really recognized. But this changes when the child is born and first interaction made. So the moment a child is carried by a father and we have celebrated the birth of the child,
Okay.
the bond is strengthened.
Okay.
So the longer this child survives or lives, the stronger the father builds the relationship. That is where the grief increases in the life of a father.
Okay.
So as we are talking about miscarriage, stillbirth, you can see some fathers don't pay attention. Don't blame them. But I want to ask a very big question right now, and that is where my problems start coming now. And why don't I feel overwhelmed
Okay.
of this grief of childbirth? That is question father should be asking now.
Okay.
Why?
Reverend, I think you already mentioned that. I mean, that's how far they know. It's an abstract field until they can, actually carry the child physically.
That is why I raised the question.
Okay.
Masculine or fathers suffer what they call muted grief. Muted grief.
Okay.
Culturally, father is exposed to compose. Compose yourself. Don't cry. Don't cry like a child.
Okay.
So culturally, in society, men just believe you must maintain your composure.
You should be stronger than
Be strong. So that alone, they have compressed the grief in the man, cannot express. So in other words, men are suffering very deep grief,
Okay.
strongly emotional. Unlike the woman that he said, the woman will flow the tears and it will roll like river, and after some time it is subsided naturally. But men don't know how to disclose that grief that is in them. It's a pathetic case that needs to be attended to. And if you observe then, as I'm still looking at the father, there are some best ways, because we are only here not looking at the distinctive nature of what is happening when a child dies, but we are also looking at how you should approach it. The greatest pain of a man is when he knows that something cannot be fixed, cannot be corrected.
Okay.
He becomes so disappointed, so helpless.
So, Reverend, are you saying that the men should be more soft when it comes to grieving and let the tears roll and pour out?
They can't by nature. Nature denies them that. They can't do that. Society, culture doesn't even permit them. So as a result, they are already suffering. And if you cry too much the day your mother-in-law dies, they say you know what kills your mother-in-law.
That's a funny one.
Good. So you don't cry so much. The question, what is the best way, sir?
Okay.
For me as a father to express my grief, because I can't live with it for the rest of my life. And yet people don't understand that I grieve. Men grieve, fathers are grieve, but they don't do the way the mothers are doing. And people keep asking, "How is your wife? How is he doing?" You don't ask how you do it. So the best way now, men or fathers express grief by doing something constructive.
Okay.
You know, they believe in energy. So when the grief is there, they want to transfer their emotions into something tangible. That is why one of those things we expect from them that is going to be good enough. When your baby dies, take active part in carrying your baby.
Okay.
Be the pain bearer. Get involved in making sure that child is properly given a final arrangement. You should be the one. I buried my child. That time you have done your last duty, your last turn, your last respect for that child. You will see, you will feel satisfied. Take over the cures, the household cures for your wife.
Okay.
You see that by the time your wife can't do anything and you are doing it, you discover that most of the things you would have been sitting down and be thinking so deeply, you see, sweating it out.
That's right.
We have understood that as a father, sometimes if you discover that your wife is getting weaker,
Okay.
you engage her in some form of exercise. At a point, you see the woman getting strengthened, and then you will be seeing yourself now getting involved in lifting her. Instead of developing weakness in you, your strength is being transferred.
Okay.
I think these are some of the important things that are expected of a father to show while handling issues of child's death.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reverend. So let's get to what the family members can do. We have looked at the mother's perspective and the father's. Let's look at all the family members and maybe friends. When baby's death occurs, what should they do?
Okay, let me buy it from the siblings aspect of it. We need simple truth to share with these children. We need to be honest. If we don't tell them ambiguous things and say the baby was lost. Because if you tell them that the baby was lost, that to say the baby, they will believe that the baby will soon return. So one day they will ask you, why is it that our baby has not returned, or the baby has not been found, where she lost to? So and not only that, and some of these children now feels guilty as if they contributed to the death of such a child, or they caused mama pain. That was why mommy lost that baby. And some of them now, you see them now becoming aggressive. You see them being reserved. They begin to withdraw. Now you see them now having some psychological effect on that incident. So on that note now, you need to call those children now and correct them that they didn't contribute to it, or this is a cause of nature.
Okay.
It's a cause of nature. That, and at the same time use, if it's a Christian family, use the Bible and admonish them.
One important issue that need to be noted there is when a child is lost and you mention it to grieving parents, they shed more tears. But when you, the affected parents, the mother and father have privilege talking about this with children. First of all, the parents face relieved, and children now have room to understand that, okay, so when we talk about our lost baby, mom is going to understand, will not shed more tears. So it is a concept that must be placed before everybody, for they share in that same family that lost that precious gift.
So the grief is shared and it's easy to manage.
Don't take it alone. Don't walk it alone.
I was looking at the list of grief and I realized the myth about 5 stages where people live in denial that this thing hasn't happened. For some persons it takes so long a time before they realize, and some get to the point of being aggressive and they are very angry, maybe at someone who didn't attend the funeral of the lost one. They just unnecessarily pick on you, and then you move on to the stage of depression where you keep questioning how did this happen, and you live in that thought for a long time. And then to some who are religious, they start bargaining with God to say, oh, if only you could have done this would not happen. Or for those who feel guilty, they say, oh, I wouldn't do this again, just bless me, and that's the bargaining. But I think the most important aspect, the most important stage is the acceptance stage, where you come to reality to say, no, this is nature, it is taking its course, this is my reality, I have to move on. So the mistake people make is that they live in denial, they get aggressive, they stay depressed, and they tend to bargain for too long. So if both mothers, fathers, family members can share the grief and then move on to the acceptance stage in a very short while, then the problem is almost solved.
So we are looking at one of the prima causes of what sets in grief. And when this grief not resolved, it compounds and they begin to build into stages. So if there is one thing that is so dangerous, moving from generation to generation, you can't forget until the days you go away, is the death of a child. It sticks to you. So it must be resolved. We are begging, in case of somebody, don't just think it has gone. You know it's living with you. You know the number. You don't play with it. Don't just keep it like that. And again, I think we just need to whisper to them again as part of the family. One important segment of the family that needs to be addressed, because there is something running in them, are the grandparents.
Okay.
The grandparents. I don't know whether you have come across a little critical, would have been a grandchild. The moment a childbearing age daughter or son is old, what your grandparents are expecting is a baby. No grandparent want to witness your delayed pregnancy. They get disturbed. What is delaying you? Some don't hesitate, they call you into privacy. What is happening? And you know, we are living in a society today that you see couple delayed childbearing for purpose of education, for purpose of career build, and at the same time, by the time they want to get the pregnancy, you discover miscarriage sets in. Stillbirth comes in. The first people that are struck in their life are the grandparents. You know why? Because they believe that the circle of life was bringing continuation. The future was telling them, my family is continuing. Legacy was attached to it. So the death of such a child is telling that grandparent or those grandparents that your joy has been cut off. Your legacy is destabilized. So they suffer it. But we say they suffer what they call double grief. Why do we call it double grief? Your grandparent had their series of miscarriages. Their stillbirth is in their record, unresolved, only to come and share the one of their children and their grandchildren again. So it compounds at a point they don't know how to resolve. Some of them become completely frustrated. So one of the things we advise again in this kind of time is that when there is miscarriage, when there is stillbirth, when there is a newborn death, the first people you turn to should be your grandparents. See what has happened to them. Then instead of your grandparents expressing your anger, beginning to frown, withdrawing from your daughter-in-law or your son-in-law, because you know they have created pains in you, but that's what they do. They withdrew their love. They don't care for you the way they used to do. Now this is the time to express your love.